My biggest regret in my career doesn't involve calling my GM a cracker or showing up to Raiders camp late in a hot air balloon with frozen feet or throwing rocks at that UPS driver. And it definitely doesn't involve taking my shirt off and doing a victory lap around the Jet Stadium mid-game while throwing up deuces. My biggest regret is that I'll never get to see me, Antonio Brown, play a game live. Sure, I can watch the game afterwards, but I can't imagine what that was like for you all to see something like that, like watching the Beatles or Jesus play at Red Rock. That is from Antonio Brown, the greatest wide receiver of our generation.
Absolute legend. Hey, put it on. Put your ish on.
I saw Pickens hit it yesterday, I think. Pickens is going to be a problem,
Dude,
by the way.
he's a problem. I saw somebody say there's no better person to fill Antonio Brown's shoes with the Steelers than George Pickens. I mean, it's the same guy. I mean,
Yeah, it worries me like drafting him in fantasy just because at what point does he just punch someone from the other team?
right? That's just him.
Like it's not going to take very long in the
No.
AFC North. He'll be throwing haymakers, probably the first division.
Yeah, that's definitely like the ghetto. Like, you know what I mean? You see the Browns on the other side of the street. Like, we're meeting in the middle and fighting.
Yeah, that is the most like hardcore division that there is.
Yeah. I mean,
like every one of those teams have passionate fans, and it's just feels like it's deep rooted there.
And every year there seems to be some kind of fight. I mean, the best one in recent memory to me was Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph, and then the Pouncey twins. Yeah.
How about in this statement from Antonio Brown, he goes through a paragraph of things he's done wrong, and he doesn't even mention recording his coach live in the postgame. He doesn't mention drop kicking a punter on a punt return. One of the most vicious attacks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
None of that's
What
mentioned.
about with the painter? Remember that whole incident? I don't know how you would like say that in a PG.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah, you can.
I mean, I feel like that was a big one.
Some Deshaun Watson stuff going on.
That was like
they just got swept under the
that
rug.
was like R. Kelly and Deshaun Watson like together.
Yeah, combined.
Weird, man.
For the worst.
So weird. What a funny guy.
Just what a weird brain he is. He has. I said it probably like 5 years ago. He has to have CTE.
He ticks different.
We have to start testing his brain.
He ticks different. I'm telling you, he ain't normal. Like him and Elon might both be just aliens. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, and it is so sad too because like he was unbelievable.
He was good. He was really good.
And this is all just going to tarnish like his legacy. He's going to be remembered as like the crazy guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be like Kanye.
You're right.
Like early Kanye was awesome.
Phenomenal.
And now he's known as like the crazy
Yeah, he's
guy.
not known. Like, yeah, he knows, people say like, he's got good music, but like you think of Kanye now, you're like, oh, he's psycho. Like you ask Bronx like who Kanye is. He's like, oh yeah, he's crazy. He's that crazy guy. He's not known for, rapping through the wire. You know what I mean? With the fresh out of jaw surgery, just dropping a banger. Yeah. But yeah, it is unfortunate. But I mean, some guys, it's like their best and worst trait.
Is being that way.
So I don't know. I appreciate him.
Oh, they're both just straight comedy. Straight laugh factory. I've read that quote 50 times since it came out, and I giggled the entire time. Like that a human actually said this, that his biggest regret is he can't watch himself live. Like Antonio Brown wishes he was me so he could watch Antonio Brown live.
Right? Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
But I'll let you go ahead and get into your Boston trip because today will just be mainly a like topics.
Yeah.
Not really, not going to cover team total or power rankings. We'll save that for Thursday's show. So we'll let's talk some personal
Yeah,
life
man.
about what we got going on.
So got up there Thursday morning, came back today. Um, didn't sleep much. I mean, it was just incredible. Like we went for the first game was Friday night. We got there, we got to Fenway. It was like a 20-minute walk. Walked there, got there about lunchtime. Sat in the bleacher bar, watched them get the field ready for BP and all that stuff. And Chase went to buy a hat, like while we were waiting on our food to come out, and like right on the street, and he saw Tommy Pham walking up and down the street, like getting hyped. He had some like headphones on, getting hyped, like just in the street, like just stuff like that. I mean, it's just so cool. And then he goes and hits a walk off that night, which was cool. But I'm gonna be honest, man. Like this year, it was cool being a Yankees fan there. Because really anything said to us, you could just kind of point at that scoreboard over there with the leaders or with the standings, and it was just kind of
Just the I'm rubber, you're glue.
right. I mean, it just was kind of awesome to, and the Yankees honestly have, they've been super cold, but um, you come in one of the hardest places to win, I would say, and I don't know what they did tonight. I've been pretty much out of it all day, but
Red Sox
that
won. I think it was 3-0.
both games were super close that we were at, and Tommy Pham hit a walk off, whatever. But Judge hit one completely out of the stadium. That was cool. Let me tell you something about Aaron Judge. We'll start with this. We got there early enough to watch BP, of course, and Judge is hitting when we're in there, and I'm like, oh man, watching Aaron Judge hit BP, like he is about to just start. Like everybody better be on high alert in the outfield, like out on the street, and he hits like the most boring BP, like just flipping top spinners over like the second baseman, uh, which is fine. Like I know a lot of great hitters that have done that. Like I've watched a lot of great hitters in college and stuff that they just keep it simple and work their routine. But so that was kind of funny. I just didn't think that he would be that guy. I thought he would just be big swing, taking daddy hacks. But that was cool. Josh Donaldson was very much that guy taking daddy hacks, like trying to hit the John Hancock sign in center field. Like everything was to center out of the, over the fence and whatever. So it was cool seeing them hit. I think I saw Aaron Hicks swing and miss in BP, so that was pretty fitting, pretty on brand. Um, he got pretty heckled for that. That was rough. But um, like I said, we got to heckle some people. A lot of people chirp up there, which is fun. It's kind of like at an Iron Bowl, like everybody's just chirping everybody, and it's just like good fun too. I was surprised, like I never saw any fights or nothing. I thought there would just be nonstop, like just they're just gonna have like a rough and rowdy in the middle of the street, like who's next? Like just go ahead and get it out of the way. Uh, Food was cool. I mean, obviously, like there's just so many people. It was just a great time. Like I had chills walking up the steps, and you see the green monster and everything, and it was cool. It was cool. And seeing the Yankees play, like the way they carry themselves, like Judge just is just you could just tell he's different than your average Joe. Like he's just looking out in the stands and everybody's flipping him off, and he's just unfazed. And it's cool. It when you're like that close to all those guys and you see kind of how they react and deal with crowds, like you could just tell, man, like how different it is to be a pro, than just in college. You see dudes that get heckled and fold like a lot of those dudes just it's just another day literally just another day at the park. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like Freddie Freeman's, to me, every time I've seen Freddie Freeman take batting practice. He's the same way,
Yeah,
where he just kind of like just works on stuff like peppering in the left center, like he's not really trying to
right.
blow the ball out of there. When we went to Yankee Stadium, it was actually like 3 days after Judge hit one off the scoreboard during
Yeah,
batting
yeah.
practice, which is a moonshot. And he was doing the same thing. He was just kind of peppering some. He pulled a couple out, but the people that were hit him the hardest and the furthest was Jacoby Ellsbury and Brett
Right,
Gardner. Both of them were letting it
right.
eat, which we ended up hitting Jacoby Ellsbury home run ball,
Nice.
and it probably could have broke my hand, but
That's cool.
yeah, some dudes are just different. Like it's such a craft, and like they know exactly what they need each day to put themselves in the best position.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just like, like seeing Tommy Pham, like just out and about, I mean, it was probably like 2 o'clock, so he'd probably been there maybe for like an hour, probably got like in a hot bath or something, like got, some massages and got some treatment on some stuff. And then he probably was just like, hey, let's just go like bounce around, because it's cool. Like, I mean, even that early, there's plenty of people on a Friday just kind of out chilling. Because we were sitting at that bleacher bar like right there on the street, and there's the Cask and Flagon is like right across the street as well, which is a bar on the corner, like a little restaurant kind of deal, and everybody's just sitting out on the street, and you just see Tommy Pham. Like nobody even like really acknowledged him, like he just was kind of doing his thing, and like it's just business as normal. I don't know, pretty cool seeing stuff like that. Um, just they're just normal at the end of the day as well. Like they're just normal dudes, like just probably listening to NBA YoungBoy, just getting lit.
He was probably listening to CNB Sports
That's
Show.
right. He probably was. I'll hype up Tommy Pham.
Should have hollered at
I
him.
know. But yeah, Chase. He's like, dude, I just saw Tommy Pham. That's sick. You can get a picture with him. Like, it's probably one he wanted. A little notoriety. Ask him to be in our fantasy league.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum over here, where I've been at home with no air for a day and a half.
Living the dog life.
And I'm just too stubborn to where I feel like probably 70% of guys are this way, to where you just refuse to pay somebody to do something, where you just feel like you can figure it out. I've never looked at an air conditioning unit until today. Yeah. And I have it all completely taken apart. And I worked on it looked at it and watched YouTube and was unscrewing parts and screwing parts back on. And probably after about 6 hours of that, I finally said, okay, I've got 2 groups that I can go to when something breaks. It's usually our group. You're in one of them. And then another group with Chad and Devin. Usually I can fix it between YouTube and those 2 groups.
Right.
And Chad ended up coming over after like an hour of us talking, and he looked at it for probably 2 hours. He couldn't figure it out. So then he goes, all right. He actually got electrocuted, the poor guy, which I felt awful about. But so then he finally said, okay, I'm going to call somebody. So he called another guy we graduated with. I haven't even talked to this guy I've talked to him once since we graduated. And he came right over. He was like, all right, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. And he showed up. He knew exactly what it was within 5 minutes of getting there. And he's like, I'll be back tomorrow to fix it. So if you're in school right now, just be nice to everybody that's around you. Because those people are going to end up being your, everything you need. Those people are going to end up being.
And it's all about,
So
you never know who you're gonna run into, who your boss will be one day. Like you just never know. So always be nice to everybody. That's kind of how I've always tried to be and how I was raised. And just always try to be nice. 'Cause you never know when you're gonna need them.
Yeah, because if he fixes it tomorrow, it'll save me probably about $250. So this a huge help. It's good to be a good
Oh
person
yeah.
too.
Yeah, it just makes you
Like
feel
he's
good.
being just taking care of
That's
me.
right. Yeah.
But so what was the temperature up there?
It was chilly.
50s?
No, I don't know. It might have gotten in the 50s at nighttime, but during the day, I mean, it was like a nice 70. Like it was just very light air. It felt like a Saturday in October kind of deal, you know, like you would have been comfortable in pants, you know, comfortable in shorts, just light air, you know, just like the sun was out and um you know, it's just a nice day and we were kind of on the nicer part of town, like over kind of by Harvard and Boston University, so you know, it was just very chill, like suburbs kind of vibe, and it was cool. It was a cool spot. You know, I've talked a lot of trash about the city of Boston and the people that live there and that are fans, and you know, most of that probably still stands, but my personal experience there was just fine. I mean, 10 out of 10, really. It was cool.
Yeah, that's what we talked just a second before we started recording, but it's just a sports town.
Yeah,
Like I feel like we're gonna fit in, or it's gonna be interesting to us to go to any of those big sports towns just because like people up there are just different. Especially like Northeast, like you go to New
yeah,
York or Boston, it's sports, sports,
right.
sports. Like I bet Pittsburgh's probably the same way. And it's a different vibe when everybody's like rooting for the same thing.
Hmm. That's right.
But we had some big news come out with Fernando Tatis being suspended for performance enhancing drugs while he was hurt. Right when he's fixing to make his comeback, he gets an 80-game suspension.
Yep.
And it's just like, is he going to get, he is a generational talent. Is he going to get in his own
Yeah,
way?
right. And I know like a lot of people on his team are really mad at him, you know, publicly. What rightfully so. I mean, at some point you have to grow up, like, and be an adult. You have to be a pro. And you know, yeah, you might need like a mentor to kind of show you the ropes, but like at some point you got to do it for yourself too. Like you just got to say, all right, man, like it's time to buckle in. Like this is my job. So, and
Yeah,
I've heard some weird things about the story too. Like, you know, he said I think he came out and said that it was something about ringworm or something, but there's one I saw this guy break it down as a doctor, and there's it's two very similar names. One of them is an anabolic steroid, and the other one is just like a regular steroid that you know you get from your doctor to treat like a rash. And he was caught taking
mm,
the anabolic steroid, like it wasn't to treat skin, like a ringworm kind of deal. It's like he, you know, was
probably just made that
yeah
up.
was he was misinformed if he actually did come out and say that, and you know, thought he could probably get away with it, and no, like that's not how that works.
Which it didn't sound, he took the blame for it, even though, even if he is saying he was misinformed, he still took the blame and said he should have done better research.
Yeah,
But, who knows? And a lot of people forget too, he's missed this entire year because he crashed a
yeah,
motorcycle in the off
right.
season. Like this isn't like he has a baseball injury is why he isn't playing. He's taken a year and a half off of his career
Yep.
by himself. So I don't blame guys like Clevenger or guys like that went to San Diego, or like Machado should be pissed.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Machado don't have many
Yeah,
more
he's
years left where he's going to compete.
running out of time. I mean, and
So I
like
don't blame him.
you know, if you're the GM, like, or the owner, manager, I mean, anybody in kind of any kind of leadership, like, I mean, you're kind of thinking twice, like, hey, man, you know, we just sold a lot to get, or we just, you know, and bought, you know, we kind of gave away a lot to win now, and which I know they'll have, you know, they'll have a chance to sign Juan Soto. You know, I could think they have him for 2 years right now, but I mean,
Year and a half.
let's go. You know, like it's time for a serious sit down. Like, what are we gonna do with him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because mean, he's a guy you could get a lot. You could get a lot for if you just kind of wanted to move on. It might be dumb in 5 years if he does grow up, but like, will he ever like not get in his own way? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Something to think about.
Which they've already signed him. I think he's locked up for 14 years.
Really?
So, yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I think he's in his second year of a 14-year deal, so I mean, you're stuck with him. If he doesn't grow up, this could be tragic.
Rough.
Like, this could wreck the entire franchise.
That's brutal.
Another thing I had. So what you saw, the legendary Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hit his first home run as a Yankee, which is, it's insane to think about. He plays in Yankee Stadium. Yeah. This is his first home run this year.
I did not know that.
It's August. Really I actually mentioned it to my dad, like, seriously, like yesterday, I think it was, or 2 days ago, the day before it happened. I said something to him about it because I'm tired of watching him hit. Like, he just doesn't have the juice. He barreled up a ball while y'all were there in left center, hit it with everything he had, squared it up, and
ran it down.
It just gets tracked down. Like, I'm tired of, and he's not playing great defense. He's not really a shortstop, or he hasn't figured that out. He probably needs to go back to third, but they don't need him there.
When we were watching him, man, he was making some plays. Like, he made that one backhand double play that not a lot of people make. He was kind of like caught in an awkward spot and still got it out quick. And I think he kind of brings some value in different ways, though. Like, he, obviously hit the home run. He doesn't do that a lot, but like, he is a pretty good bunter. Like, he bunts in situations where we got first and third, one out. He got that run in. I mean, that's huge. Execute that, and it's a double play, and like, Yankees probably lose that game.
Yeah.
So I mean, he kind of like took over, which, I mean, it had to be somebody just because it's been like they've been so cold. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough because I was just there and watched him play really well, but obviously he doesn't do that a lot.
Yeah, that's his best game of the season. Yeah. He botches a lot of plays, and the Yankees have Oswald Peraza, who is just sitting there waiting. Like, he's crushing the ball in AAA. They've already said his glove and his arm is MLB caliber. Yeah. So, like, I guess I'm hoping that they're waiting on September call-ups. They call him up, and it's a Randy Arozarena situation where he gets called up, and then he just never comes out of the lineup. Yep. IKF moves to like a, defensive sub if you want to do that, or, late game bunt, something like that. Yeah. But he just, I don't know. I just don't feel like he fits.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Another guy that is like super frustrating, and it's frustrating in two ways, because he strikes out so much. It's Josh Donaldson. He strikes out so much.
I knew that's where you're going.
But like, then you look at the box score, and he got on base twice, but he has the other two times he struck out and like wasn't even like a competitive at bat. And I'm like, come on, bro. And he didn't really have that much range anymore. Like that, I hate to say it, but like that ball that Tommy Pham hit, like off the end down the line. I'm like, I mean, come on, man. I'd really like you to get a little bit of glove on that, but it is what it is. Whatever. That's a play, like, you make that like you're a Yankee legend for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I don't know.
It was right on the line.
Yeah,
like, that's tough.
It's tough. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating to see. When you're, I don't know. It's just something I thought about. I don't know. But watching
Donaldson, to me, he just kind of
watching him strike out, man. It's just so frustrating. He just has no two-strike approach. Like, he's trying to hit it a mile every swing, which is fine, man. That's fine. That's the game now. It's just tough to watch sometimes.
It is. I know a lot of guys, like, they just don't have that two-strike approach, and I don't understand why. Like, it's the game still.
Yeah.
You think I'll give you, your first two swings are for you. Try to blow the ball out of there. After that, it's for us. Like you need to choke up, get on the plate, and try to draw a
Yeah,
walk. And so many guys don't do that. And Donaldson, that's why it doesn't bother me like watching him strike out twice a game anymore, just because I'm just so used
right.
to it. Like he's hitting 230 on the year. He's playing, solid defense, and he just is what he
Yep.
is.
The one dude that just thinking about third baseman, and honestly, like love watching this guy play is Devers. I mean, he has no two-strike approach, but he also hits 300. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's a little
it's
different.
different because he swing out of his shoes and hurt his back and hit it. Spray one down the line, and he didn't even know where it went. It's just, I don't know. He's crazy. I wish I could have watched him hit BP. Yeah, and that's kind of like a pet peeve for me. I want the full experience. I want to watch both teams hit BP. I'm a nerd, and I can't. You can go. The gates open at 90 minutes before you watch the last two groups of the Yankees hit. Open that puppy up. Let me go watch the home team hit BP too. I hate that. It drives me bananas.
I don't think Devers would really be a impressive BP watch though. Maybe for somebody that's like in it, like I don't think a casual would have fun watching Devers take
Right.
BP. Same way with like you said, the way Judge was doing it, the way Freeman does it.
Yeah.
I just don't think he would be that guy.
Yeah. Probably Stanton, like Acuna, like those dudes that um that's all they know is it's just smacking that ball, like just swinging hard.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just
yeah,
think Devers is more like, I don't really know the word I'm looking for.
he's just a weird guy. I love watching him run around. It was
Yeah.
even funnier. Like you used to say, I had like a weird trot, but I feel like he has the funniest little weird, like little kid trot. Like he just, like everything is
He
so.
looks like a little kid.
He runs like up on his tippy toes, like a 4-year-old that just learned how to run, and he does like the 2-foot hop onto the plate when he hits a home run. Like he's just so fun. It's just hilarious. It's hilarious. It cracks me up.
Yeah. I mean, he's a stud. There's no way around it.
Oh yeah,
Even as much as I hate Boston,
he's so
I
good.
can't hate on that guy.
He's so good. And
He's
I
unbelievable.
think I want to say it was you that said something about we were talking about. I wish I could see Garrett Cole pitch in Fenway just because it would be hilarious, like the heckles you hear, and everybody chanting Garrett at the same time. It's just it'd be funny. And I think you said like, yeah, man, it'd be awesome to watch um, Garrett Cole throw live BP to Devers.
Which is what it is.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, good stuff.
we had some more news this week with John Calipari and Mark Stoops getting into it. A lot of the local SEC people have been covering this pretty well. And John Calipari I guess he's trying to use his voice to get him a new practice facility. So he basically just says, Alabama's a football school, Georgia's a football school, Kentucky's a basketball school. And that rubbed Mark Stoops the wrong way. Calipari said, no disrespect to our football team. I hope they win 10 games and go to bowls. But this is a basketball school. Mark Stoops replied, which Mark Stoops has stood his ground. Yeah. He has dug his feet in. He just said, I stay in my own lane. You don't take shots at me, but once you do, I'm firing back. He says, when you start talking about mine and people I compete against, I'm going to defend my players. Don't demean and distract from what we've done to get to this point. So and the AD is not happy about this either. If somebody goes, do you think Calipari gets axed? Or do you think he has that much pull?
I think he's got that much pull. I think it comes down to like,
because
they'll have like, I think it'll be like a deep discussion though. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be like some fake apology at the media. Like the AD is going to bring every party in and like we're about to settle this like here and now.
Yeah,
that's what it has to be.
Which, Calipari is one of the best college basketball coaches there is.
Right.
He's only won one title
Right.
at Kentucky, at least. He, which to me, recruiting classes counts in how good of a coach you
Yeah,
are.
definitely.
Nick Saban may not be the best X's and O's guy, but it's his job to go get those 5-star guys in.
Yep.
And that's what Calipari does, just as good as anyone.
Oh, yeah.
But how easy would it be for Kentucky to go get another big name basketball coach and plug and play there to where they can't do that in basketball? I mean, in football.
Right.
What Mark Stoops has done for Kentucky in football isn't replicable.
Yeah, he got it out the mud.
Like, I don't know if anybody could go there and do that.
He got it out the mud, dude. Like, out the mud. They would have to get, like, just some low-key mid-major guy, you know what I mean? Like, or a coordinator somewhere, and they're just, like, kind of, like, underrated. Nobody really knows about them, and then, like, build it up like that. I mean, you couldn't get like if, I don't think he would move on, but like you couldn't get a Jimbo Fisher there, or something like that. You couldn't get Hugh Freeze there.
To where I think in basketball, I think they could offer the bag at a lot of these guys, and I feel like there's it's more spread out in basketball.
Yeah,
you can find a mid-major guy that can go win it all.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
At Kentucky.
Exactly.
To where you just can't do that. To me, all honesty, I think Calipari goes before Mark Stoops does.
You think he leaves though, or do you think he gets cut?
I think if it was push come to shove and they said, we can't settle this, one of us has to go, I think Calipari is who goes.
Yeah.
Just because I think what Mark Stoops has done is you can't replace that.
Right.
Where Kentucky is kind of a basketball school.
Right.
But also, basketball only makes like 25% of the money, to where football's making the other 75.
Yeah, definitely.
So who are you going to keep?
Right. That's a good point.
And that is just crazy to me.
Let me ask
that, like, John Calipari would be on the chopping block at Kentucky.
Right. Well, like you said, I mean, what have you done for me lately, though?
Nothing.
Yeah. What about this? I saw somebody tweet it. How would you feel if, say, Harsin just 6-6, 5-7 average year, gets cut? What would you feel about them going after a Mark Stoops?
I would love that.
That's
because he's shown he can do it.
He's kind of tough too. Like, I feel like he wouldn't be intimidated. Like, because he's not, he's not his brother or whatever. He's not Bob Stoops, but like he's still a big name. He's still people know who he is. You know what I mean? And he wouldn't be intimidated by boosters or anything like that. Like, he would come in and do it his way, and you're gonna like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Brian Harsin coming in and telling people what to do. Because he didn't have any of that notoriety or respect yet. But a guy like Mark Stoops comes in, a little different.
Yeah. And I feel like I've always been the guy saying that for Auburn to be successful, we can't try to out-recruit Alabama.
Right.
We have to find, the money and the crumbs.
Yeah.
And I feel like Mark Stoops is that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like Harsin's that guy too.
Yeah.
He's just going to need some more time.
Right.
And Harsin's a guy that don't back down. Like, the boosters literally tried everything they could to get him fired this offseason, and he just said, I'm not leaving.
Right.
I'm not even coming home to talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation with my wife. Y'all figure it out.
I love it too. I like that. I mean, that's what Auburn needs. That's kind of how, that's like, especially as a football team, like, that's how y'all are. Like, y'all are tough, like a tough team to beat at home. They're like a lot of pride in your school. Like, I'm out here saying it with my chest. You know what I mean? Like, hard work, kind of, you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Like, that's why I always thought Gus was like a weird fit. He's just kind of a nerd. But he worked for his time. He
definitely was.
He worked for his time.
Going from Gene to Gus wasn't bad. But like, if we went to Harsin and then, like you said, maybe Stoops, and then went back to somebody like Gus, that would never work.
No.
Like, I think that ship is sailed with the nerdy guys.
Yeah, that just messes up your whole culture at that point. You know, that's like the stepping stone. You know what I mean? Like it's the stepping stone to get to that hard-nosed guy, that kind of like the nerdy guy kind of set up the culture, and I don't know, because he kind of, I mean, he got like the fans into it more. I feel like it's more like the basketball team was involved now, and baseball team's involved. Like it's more of like a all in kind of deal. Like that was all
like a community.
Yeah, kind of built it all back. So I don't know. I still think that Auburn will be in a better spot this year than what people think. I think they'll still be up.
I'm hoping
they'll still
so.
be decent.
I think TJ Finley getting arrested helps Auburn a lot. I hope they keep him. I mean, no offense, TJ Finley, on a personal level, but I hope they keep him in jail until bowl season's over. Just because I don't want the chance of him being my starting quarterback.
Right. Yeah, that's rough.
But
who do you think gets the starting job? Have they announced anything?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to end up being Calzada.
I mean, we've seen what he can do.
I think he's going to end up being the safe pick, which I think he's average.
He's fine.
I think he's better than Finley. All we needed was an average quarterback last year to beat Alabama.
Right.
Literally. I mean, a 45 on Madden, we could have won that game.
Yeah, seriously.
Instead, we had TJ Finley.
That was one of the worst games Alabama's played in a long time. Like execution and everything.
I was ready to cut my wrist. Yes, sitting there watching that game, and then you see people on Facebook saying this is the greatest Iron Bowl of all time. I cannot tell you how many people said that because it went to 6 overtimes. That was 2 of the worst teams I've ever seen play football.
It was so bad. It was so bad. So bad. I mean, you take that team to, I don't even know. Somebody just mediocre. Like,
take them to IMG. Both of those teams get beat.
They're getting beat.
Hoover High School in early 2000s. Hoover High School beats both of those teams.
Oh, dude!
But it's the greatest Iron Bowl of all time because it went 4 overtimes.
Watch.
Both of those teams stunk.
The defenses weren't even good. That's what's crazy. Like, it would be like both teams drive the field and then make a mistake, and everybody's sitting here like, oh my gosh! It's like sitting there watching 2 bad high school football teams play.
Yeah, Auburn had the game won if Tank just stays in bounds.
Now
the game's over. Instead, he runs out of bounds.
The drive at the end of regulation was electric, and it kind of saved it.
That was cool.
But that's it. I mean, that's the only highlight you see. You don't even see the game-winning route or the game-winning 2-point conversion that much. Like it's all about that drive.
All you see, that game was 4 hours long, and all you see is the final drive of regulation, and then you see the Alabama players doing the crane at the end. That's all anybody shows.
Oh my gosh, man.
But we had one more headline, which was Cheeto Vera knocking out Dominique Cruz last night. It was unbelievable. He kind of set him up the whole fight, throwing the right, seeing Dominique Cruz keeps falling real hard to the right every time he throws the right hook. So he throws the left roundhouse kick, hits him right on the button, and he just collapses. It was like Cheeto Vera he's must-watch TV, especially if you get him for free like it was last night. He's so precise. He's got so much power to be so little. And, I mean, he's one of the coolest, calmest guys in the UFC. So I'm sure he'll probably fight again in like December, if I had to guess. But
yeah,
he's going to be on a main card next time because they're not going to give you 2 Cheeto fights for free back to back.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're going to open up some more things for the viewers to get involved. So we're going to start a movie review segment. So y'all comment, y'all message us. Probably comment would probably be the best.
Yeah.
And we'll find a movie, because one thing, I haven't watched enough movies. Like, I guess my ADD, ADHD, or whatever it
Right.
is, I don't sit and watch very many movies.
Same.
So I need to make myself sit down, watch a movie start to finish. Then me and you will get on here, talk about it.
I'm with
and
that.
then I feel like it's just an easy way to get more people involved with something that's not necessarily sports.
And it doesn't have to be something that's on Netflix right now, or I mean, there's a lot of different ways to watch movies. Like, if it's an old classic that thought should have been included on our movie list that we did a couple months ago, like, throw it in there. We'll go watch it and we'll talk about it, and we'll have all the spoilers for y'all, and it'll be awesome. Because I'm the same way. Like,
Yeah, Josh,
I cannot sit there. For me, I can sit there and watch a movie, right? Like, I like movies, but I cannot pick my own movie. I'm terrible at it.
Oh, never.
I can never find the movie that
Never.
I want to watch ever, and it just ends up to me watching American Dad is really what it boils down to, and every time. And Lindsay hates me for it, and nobody's perfect, but yeah, I just need y'all to start telling me what movie to watch, and we can talk about it, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a good segment too that we can do like on our Sunday night when we record, just because that'll give us the weekend. And yeah, I'm the same way. I go to watch a movie, I scroll for 30 minutes, and then I just put it on New Girl or The Office, and that's it. I watch the same episodes I've watched 150 times.
The same ones. I couldn't tell you how many times I've gone all the way through American Dad. I mean, it's probably like legit like 15 to 20 times. Ever since I was at Marion was when I started watching it, because it was on Netflix, and I was using my roommate's login. So that was the fall of 2015, and I have always had it rolling since, just nonstop. So I don't know. It's just who I am. It's what I do. And I've heard, it's a weird thing. I've heard that that's like like an ADHD kind of deal. Like, you just go because it's already going to happen, and like you don't really have to focus, but you're still entertained. I don't know. I don't really get it, but you always go back to the same shows. Like, you never really pick like new stuff. Like, it's tough to pick new stuff. So
yep, that's my main problem. I will go ahead and just put a lot of money on it that when we post this, I might try to find a way to like make a graphic just because, and I would guarantee Josh and Caleb, one of them two says Tombstone. That'll be their first comment.
That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one.
Have you ever seen it?
No, but I know it's a legend.
Me either.
Legendary movie. There's a lot of movies, man, I haven't seen. I'm excited for this. We should do
Me too.
We should get real weird and just go like YouTube live. Just watch it together. I don't know about all that. That's a lot of time that we gotta have free at the same time. But no, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Other than that, last thing I've got is just like with the movie thing, we're trying to get y'all involved as much as possible, the people that are listening, because we have a pretty like cult following almost.
Yeah.
I would say, to where we've got a good amount of people that listen to every single episode.
Right.
So send us topics, send us questions, send us things you want to hear us answer, things you want to hear us talk about.
Definitely.
Like, we do appreciate y'all listening every time.
And it could be anything, man. You riding down the road, you have like a shower kind of thought, like, is water wet? Well, let's find out. Let's debate it. Let's talk about it. I'm always open. I got a pretty open mind. We definitely explore different thoughts and stuff. We can get real deep if you want. So
yeah,
let's get it. But
But that's all I've got.
Yeah, that wraps me up too. So let's have a good week. Let's attack on Monday today. Let's just get after this week. It's almost football season, man. 3 weeks. We're in the
We're
two
getting there.
weeks and 5 days. Man, we're so close. So let's get after it this week, and we'll be 1 week, 5 days a week from now. So let's get it.
I like that.